Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Welcome back once again to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, here to share some time, some inspiration, encouragement, maybe just entertainment, whatever. For those of you who have been popped in already, golly geez, it's you guys that drives me to keep returning. And Talcott Express, my sincere love to all of you guys. There's a lot of encouraging spirits that are being shown and shared around here. And, Toilet Bowler, I thought this was funny if you're here or you catch this, because that was exactly what it was happening. I was switching away from the Comcast Infinity Corporation to an alternative that finally came into my neighborhood. So we're trying something new. I got a different modem, different service provider, and we'll see how strong this stays. Blessings to all of you. I'm kind of catching up here in the chat, but so many of you have already stopped by. Serious, and this is what it's about. Praise God, man. I am so back, and we made it. We're all here together again. Thank you all for joining in. So the thumbnail today, I loved this quote from Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. These words are my experience personally, learning that I do not control outside events. I only control the thoughts in my mind. Man, when I started realizing where the line is and who's responsible for what, it brings a level of freedom that I didn't know earlier in my life. And so here I am. I am promoting myself on the other social medias here, and there's links in the description. Surrendering from thoughts can bring a feeling of acceptance into the moment. From a feeling of peace, inner strength and inspired actions may emerge. And it's just logic that brings this forth, right? It makes sense practically, experientially. Surrendering from our thoughts brings a freedom. And this is kind of the topic I wanted to get into with the Wellness Wednesday as well. Your life is as good as your mindset. I've thought about doing a lot of things, but private knee rub sessions, that's not high on the list. It's been offered before, but thanks for the suggestion. Regarding mental wellness, I was observing myself earlier today. And today, nothing spectacular, but I realized what I've been doing. I've said this before, and I heard the words from Mary Morrissey. For those who know, she's an amazing woman. For those who don't, I encourage you to look her up. Mary Morrissey. Notice what you're noticing. That is the message I learned from her very, very clearly. Notice what you're noticing. You're noticing your mind's eye of notice and awareness. That is where your experience is going to be known. And so I was observing my own patterns of notice what I'm noticing and recognizing in the moments there's a lot of things to notice between our senses of sound and sight and flavor, feelings, the sensations, the temperatures. There's a lot for our minds to become attracted to noticing, both within us, around us, in our being, but then you bring in the world around. And holy cows, the mind can easily become confused. And this world, brothers and sisters, this world, it's exactly how it was designed. We were born into a punishing world, so it was said, Satan's realm, or, whatever. This is a world where we were born into a punishing world where lies and secrets have proven to be profitable. This is immoral and illogical. So the point is, this world profits from our confusion. The world being the worldly systems that were man-made, the worldly systems, the beasts of rule that mankind has imagined and created, and then people die trying to protect these illusions of nations and corporations. Man, the good news is I think God created us to put a stop to this stupid stuff that's been happening. Provo, I love the question. Life is not a punishment. Life is a gift. But part of the gift for it to be treasured and appreciated, sometimes you got to realize how fragile life can be. And so to create that fragility of life, we've got mortality built into our design, so they say. And then the worldly systems, they're designed to punish us. When the government we have is based upon the morality of the citizens. The citizens get the government they deserve and what they want. We're apparently voting for this garbage crap. This nonsense political system. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a very sick joke, your question. Life is a gift. It's to be appreciated and treasured, not resented and hated. And that's kind of the purpose of this talk, though, too, is recognizing the complexity that is within our mind, right? Within the mind's eye, with our awareness, that is our consciousness. And there's many levels and many layers to our awareness, to what we can be aware of. I mean, the mind is infinite, man. You can get lost in time and space. There's a lot to explore within the mind, but it's easy to get trapped there as well. Within our awareness, right, and all of our senses, the awareness is the evidence of our consciousness, but even consciousness has many different levels. It's pretty common knowledge today about what being conscious, awake, aware is. Somewhere, well, that word's getting all sorts of different meanings for people. But we've got our consciousness, we've got our subconsciousness, which is like all of the intelligence within us that keeps us breathing, and our heart going, and and even the subconscious are instinctual patterns that have been passed down through our genes, through hereditary. It's so complex and amazing what we are. Oh, so we've got our conscious, that the stuff that we know about, the stuff we're aware of, and then we've got the subconscious within us as well, which is the stuff we know within us, but we don't know in our awareness. And then there's another super consciousness, which is It's beyond, maybe that's the spirit or the soul would be the super consciousness with this. And that's connected to the entire consciousness, the human consciousness. And there's so many ways that this could be explained, rationalized. But what it comes down to is that your life is as good as your mindset. So what is your mindset like? Are you real rigid in your thinking, in your structures of thought? Are you real consumed by what you think, by the thoughts in your mind? Or are you above the thoughts, above the being? And you can be, you are. We were born into a world, brothers and sisters. We were born into a world with a divine awareness, a pure awareness, just an awareness of being. And then as we go through the conditioning from the schools and the doctrines and traditions of religions and all the different customs that people teach each other, as we go through these things, we lose sight of who we are. Just the mere awareness of being. By your beingness, I mean, that is something special. And at the same time, each of us, we are just small parts within the whole. But while it can seem, we can feel and seem pretty insignificant in the scale of the world and geography and the number of people. I mean, when you start trying to fathom, trying to rationalize the numbers and scales of people who have been and who are, we are a part of something pretty friggin' big, brothers and sisters. I'm talking about being a part of humanity. So what does it mean to be part of humanity? What does it mean to be human? Humane? See, this world, as people become more moral, greater in their honor, greater in their authenticity, actually, when people stop fighting to stay confused, this world will be a glorious place to live. And I do think it's going to happen soon. I really do. I'm excited, sincerely excited for the future, for all of us. Is freedom the goal, or is the goal to be in ownership of our lives? That is a wonderful question as well. I think the two go together. Let's think that through. Ownership, that means you are responsible. Responsible gives you the freedom of choice. Those two go together. But responsibility it's a duty. It's also an honor. It's something to be appreciated. Freedom and ownership. Well, ownership of our lives. There's no freedom without responsibility. And if you're not responsible for your life, you don't own shit. If you're not responsible for your words, you're not authentic. And this is another part of this stream I'm going in is I was watching John St. Julian again on YouTube. I've shared his channel several times. He reminded today, when meanness fades, love emerges. I was like, that is profoundly obvious and beautiful. When meanness fades, love emerges. What is mean? Being mean between another is when we're selfish, when we're uncaring, when we're cruel, when we're dishonest. We know what it means to be mean. It means to break the golden rule. We've all heard that. We were all children. Hopefully, you know what? Let me not assume. The golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. None of us like to be lied to. Yeah, we got politicians and news media. They got to know that they're lying. Or do you think they're really saying what they think? I know pretty much, as I understand the freedom of life and what it is, what it means to be human. We've got this freedom of choice. We're able to choose from the thoughts that the consciousness within us allows us to become aware of. See, that was the other thing I wanted to point out. There's layers and layers of our awareness, layers and layers of our consciousness. Each of us has a different foundation of knowledge. We each have a different position and view of the world based upon what each of us have uniquely learned. And what I've chosen to believe for myself, how I've grown in my own faith, it's honestly through surrender. It's through the realization that what Jack thinks does not matter. As far as opinions or what people should do, what things mean, doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what is. So what I try to think about is what is, not what I think about what is. I hope that makes sense. Please consider this, all right? There's a distinction between the real thing and then our thoughts about the thing. But I know from my past, and I know the patterns I've been witnessing, what is a tendency for the people is to focus on the thoughts about the thing instead of really trying to find more information. What humans do, what the society has conditioned us to do from patterns of distrust and fear. The billionaire and corporation, the oppression, the censorship, all of that exists because people are too afraid to stand up for what is right. Simple as that. We all know that there's no need for war. I was excited today to see in the news that there was some within the House. I know it's all pageantry, but I think the people playing the roles in Congress, I think they think it's real. Anyway, within the pageantry of the House, I saw in the news that there's some people that are, standing up. It's time for a ceasefire. As far as I know, it was directed at Israel and Palestine. But what is happening in Palestine right now today? It's evidence of evil. Murder of innocents. Just hey, let me not get too deep in that mood. Kevin Barber, welcome. Welcome for popping through. And to all of those who have been all of those who have been active in the thank you. I got caught off on this one too. If war was the only way towards perpetual peace, would you advocate for war? I know that it is not. I know that the only way to peace is through peace. And peace is here and now. It must simply be chosen. And the way we choose peace, the way we find peace, thank you, Provo, the way we find peace is to allow the meanness to fade. Each of us, we've all got our stories, right? We've all had our pains, we've all got our different limitations and abilities. Genuinely though, within us, we know we don't like being mean. But this world and the energies, if you want to get into the religious, I mean, there's the there's the idea of the demonic, those that oppose the light of God, the darkness, the satanic, whatever you want to call it. There's the oppositional energies that exist within this game of life. You know, I want to speak to the people who are ordering others to go murder. I want to try and find a way to help heal the hate. Because people don't hurt others unless they're feeling a lot of hate. And the hate that they're feeling, it's inside of them. We were born into a world that profits from symptoms, solving symptoms, not problems. Actually, it profits from problems. So we got people going around creating problems, imagining problems, creating enemies so that we can, create enemies, imagining enemies so we can create enemies. And as long as you're creating enemies and imagining enemies, well, then the military industrial complex constantly feeding the economy every year. I am a man of peace. As I've said, I'm a simple guy. I found my way to the way described by Yeshua, Jesus, recorded in the Bible. It seems to me that this would be pretty obvious who claim to be Christians. Should we not be trying to help end the suffering of others? Should we not be trying to bring hope to those in need? I think this is the time for this world to try. I really do. I know there's so many organizations, there's so many groups working together, offering methods and modalities, new and ancient methods of healing, of emotional transformation is available for us all. Each of us, we can recreate ourselves into something new, something greater. The reality is there is a divine force that wants us to grow, wants us to come forth in greater ways. There is a divine force of good that exists for us. Life is the evidence. If the forces of nature did not exist for the purpose of life, you and me, we wouldn't be here. Okay? And as it's said through the religions, there's a divine force, right? There are patterns to what is. I could go. I'd want to speak to, I don't know. I know that war solves nothing. I know that children who lose their parents and survive a war, they grow up with a lot of hate. I know parents that lose their children in times of conflict, innocence, lost. I know that fuels a lot of pain. and a lot of rage. And I've never even experienced it. I can just fucking imagine it. So, so the idea that does need to stop now. The idea that this world was created for all of us, every one of this life and its form, we are here to coexist with each other with love, man. Love, it really is the answer. Cult of culture. Here's what something I've learned about this world. All right, here, consider this. I'm going to come back to this question and answer it, but consider this. We live in a world of inversion. Everything within consciousness, but everything is reflected and refracted and projected. Okay. The best way to know what is real in this realm of illusion is determine what is not. Okay. So love, it's indescribable. It's unmistakable. It's eternally there. It's always available. Love, it really is undefinable. But so, how do you know love? What is not love? That's a little easier to define, right? When we know not love, it's usually untruthful, untrusting, uncaring, the unthings, the things that we don't like to receive from others. Love is that which unites. Here's another word that I'm learning better for myself: compassion. See, without compassion, there is no love either. That I know for sure. See, and this world seems to lack compassion because there's a lot of people carrying around a lot of pain. Physically, they're just given drugs or whatever, told to live with it, suffer. Or emotional, even worse, going to therapists to pay for their fucking boat, just to have someone to talk to. So I'm glassing here. I lost my thought. Less morality, less freedom. More morality, more freedom. Yes. Amen. And Bearju, think about this, or everyone think about this. It makes perfect sense. Because if God's going to create these divine beings that we are, and we're going to exist just for ourselves, we're creating limits. Because we don't really accomplish much when we don't work together. When we don't cooperate, we stay divided. And staying divided creates these resistances, these conflicts. Next thing you know, you're paying for wars and education, just like a good, obedient slave. Oh, man, that was my words. That wasn't loving and kind. Dude Guru, welcome. I always love what you bring. And for those who may want to, please feel free to join. Click the link. When meanness fades, then we'll have more of that freedom. Where'd that comment go? I'm going to save that. That was it. Those who are mean are not moral, right? We all want to be moral. We all want to be free. The best way we become free is to free ourselves. Free ourselves of the past, free ourselves of expectations, of burdens. Free ourselves from discomfort by recognizing that which is true, and that which is always true is only known right now. Okay, so the goal I found for myself, what I've been practicing, right? This practice of mindfulness, practice of calm mind meditation. It's important. It really is. Guys, we live in a world where there is a spiritual battle truly happening. Maybe spirit is something I can get into another time too. But the spiritual battle, as we know, it's occurring in the mind. And we've got a lot of obedient employees alive today in different roles in the society, in the unfolding drama of our world. We got a lot of people playing their roles in life, doing what they think they want, but what they're actually doing is what they've been told. To free ourselves of the meanness, of the temptation to be mean. And there is. When I'm confident this is all God's design. I really do. I'm going to come back to that new girl. Actually, it ties into what I'm saying. I'd like to share today's. Never forget to live in the present before it's too late. That is the lesson I'm trying to offer. We only live in this gift of the present. This is the gift to be appreciated. You know, the past may have been tough. The future may look uncertain. Mine still does, but I tell you what, crap. I'm so filled with faith and hope. I'm excited for what the future may reveal, not just for me, but for all of us. Because I've spent a lot of time considering, Nude Guru, you're dropping bombs of wisdom regular here. I have not yet checked out your channel though. I'll do that. It's on my list. And you're always welcome to join too. But there's many people very conscious, very aware, very in tune and growing. I think this is the time we're all growing in tune to our spirit, our true essence. And well, I guess we're getting into that spirit discussion right here. The spirit is that which consumes us, which brings forth our movement. So there's a lot of spirits that we can cling to that can become us. The spirit of anger, that's one that's pretty contagious, and there's a lot of that going around. Spirit of anger, watch for that. The spirit of fear, and fear can creep into a lot of ways. Anger is actually a fear. But if the spirit of fear creeps in, you'll know it. You just won't feel good. You'll be depressed, melancholy, angry, irritable, real just anxious, hopeless, all those things. Those are the spirits of fear. Those are not. Ain't got time for that shit. That's what I started telling myself. I don't have time. It's life. It could end. I don't know when. I don't have time to waste it worrying, complaining, bitching about things that are out of my control. Bitching about things that are out of our control. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. And the power over our mind, guess when it is? Right now. It's always now. If an idea comes into your heads, brothers and sisters, ask yourself, is this worthy of attention? As you're going through your day, a new idea pops in, you see something in your pattern, in your journey of the day, when something pops into your awareness or a new idea, ask yourself why. Why did my spirit, my super consciousness, bring my consciousness to notice that? And as it did, what am I missing? Maybe I'm ignoring something, but no, don't overcomplicate it. But that's what I'm always doing. Why am I paying attention to this and not that? What would be the difference? When these new ideas come into your mind through the day, interrogate yourself. Is this worthy of my attention? Is this worthy of my action? And if it's a new idea and, you can imagine success, improvement, greater experience, helping yourself, helping someone else, if those ideas come into your day and they seem worthy, do yourself the favor and give those thoughts some attention. Take action, right? We only live today. So if you find something that you can get done today, get it done, right? What's the point of doing nothing? What's the point of repeating the same life over and over and over for year after year, living the same routines? What's the point of that? I know some people enjoy that, but I don't. That's not me. I want to grow. And what I realized was I was allowing my distractions to keep me from growing. There's my desires and my constant seeking of pleasure. Those things just kept me distracted. And I know that's how the masses are being manipulated. Thank you, Spider Guts. But I don't actually own the house anymore, according to the paperwork that some people say matters. Anyway, distraction is everywhere. It is a practice discipline to stay focused on the moments. Humility, kindness, and compassion. Like all things, we get better and better at what we practice, good and bad. Oh, amen. Thank you, Nude Guru. Life, right? People can hurt us. We can pick up these habits and these addictions and these patterns that just seem impossible to overcome. There's no way. I cannot imagine a life without blah, blah, blah. Life brings us these opportunities to determine our own self-worth, our own value. So we can continue to make the choices, the bad choices that become the, self-sabotaging habits. I'm still working through mine, I'm still cleaning my life up over the past choices I've made in many different ways. The point is, though, is what being a human, let's face it, whether it's doing anything, tying your shoes, driving a car, riding a bike, learning how to swim, these things may seem intimidating, frustrating, whatever. Once we learn it, it's like kind of no-brainer at some point. That stuff happens as well with the practice discipline to stay focused. And I'm not claiming to be at any great achievement there, but I know I have been growing in my ability to focus, to stay present, to stay kind. I won't humble. I get arrogant quite a bit. I'm working on these things. These comments, man, these are the right things I need. Hey, and please, if anyone wants to join, hey, amen. I'll keep going for a little while. And actually, with stuff coming in, if I've missed something in the chat of any importance, I don't mean to. It seems like there's a lot of conversations between the community. So, um, Nude Guru, the simplest answers are the truth. You know, it's all about being impeccably honest. And that reminds me of that book, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Highly recommend it. Being impeccable with your word is one of the four agreements he recommends. And that's what I started doing for myself. It's humbling. Brothers and sisters, it is. I'll tell you what, I remember the feelings, I know the perceptions, I know how it can seem. Going within with the intention to know yourself, to allow yourself to change, it can be frightening. It can bring forth a lot of emotions. And as you start going into yourself, looking at yourself with impeccable honesty, with the intention to be true, with no excuses, no exceptions, I want to know me. Because when I say I want to know me, what I mean is I want to know the true me. I want to show the true me. And the true me it's the Christic. It's the pure, the loving, the kind, the divine. It's within us all until we allow our limits to become real. What is real? Well, that's for God to determine as far as I'm concerned. I'm just here to do my best to be honest, true to myself and others, without excuses, without exceptions, and no blame. When I started doing that, the inner transformation that I have experienced. Hey, Nude Guru, thank you. Thank you. It's the truth that transforms us. What does not transform us is when we hold on to our egoic patterns of the past. When we allow our thought patterns and the image of ourselves, when we allow our thoughts and our feelings to be who we are, that can be pretty confusing and cumbersome and creates a lot of resistance. When we surrender ourselves, just becoming the awareness that is you in the present. And you can it's easy to forget, right? It's real easy for us to forget to be present and aware and loving and kind. Sometimes it is easy to forget. It's easy to get caught up in the mob energies and start arguing and picking a side and jumping in. Self-control and self-censorship, those don't happen without self-awareness. And hey, beautiful.
Hi, Jack.
My beautiful friend Cynthia. Welcome,
Oh,
sister.
thank
How
you.
are you?
I'm coming in hot tonight, Jack. I've been on fire since I woke up. I don't know if you've been keeping up what's going on in the metaverse world today, but there's some there's some things going down.
Was there?
Yes.
What did I miss?
Okay. Well, first of all, Snaps is mad at you and I because we didn't defend Jesus from Flow State. So we're
Okay.
going to hell. We're fake. We're
All
fake.
right.
And what was the other thing? He was on Benton's today. Well, Venus Cupcake and I were on Benton's today talking about just the things that men have been doing to women on the metaverse and just how it's not okay the way that these men act. Sometimes they're just kind of they take it too far. Because I heard someone speaking ill on Angeline. And that's like the one person that is the sweetest person who wishes nobody harm, who has nothing but love oozing from every pore of her body. And they were speaking horrible things on her, and it really pissed me off.
Hey, Cynthia. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
As
Mm-hmm.
you said that, you reminded me Snafu was quite out of line in my chat here, in the chat here in this community when Angeline was here before as well. Snafu, whether you think you're mad or not, you have been running around with these disparaging remarks and accusations, and you need to check yourself, my brother. Um, Welcome, BeeBee.
Hi. And
My
so that
camera's
really
messing up.
just,
I can't hear y'all.
oh, why? I hear you.
She's trying again. Sorry, please
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
that really pissed me off. So I went over there to Benton's because I saw Venus because he was also talking about Venus, this particular person. And so I went over there and Snaps was in the comment and just being Snaps. But uh, I personally think that sometimes people are broken and they just don't understand women. They don't know how to talk to women and they just don't like it's just not okay to say horrible things about a woman and not think that you're going to make her feel some type of way. Mic check.
Can you hear?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt her.
Okay,
Oh, okay. Just wanted to make
beautiful.
sure.
Thank
And
you.
so it just really upset me. So I was fired up today. And then you were late. And I was like, I'm not going to bring this to Jack's panel because I always want to make sure you stay in a good balanced state. But then now, and then Wizard came up. Listen, Jack, I know we are supposed to forgive and love everybody, right? But there's like two people that I'm like, throw the damn bathwater, throw the baby, throw the bucket, grab the soap, throw all that crap out the window and never think about it again. At this point, it's not even fun talking about them because they're just a waste. They're a waste of thought. They're a waste of space. They're a waste, right? So maybe that's something I need to work on. I don't think so, but I'll revisit it in 6 months and check it out again. Okay. But so there he's in the comments being dumb as dumb is. And then Snaps pops up and then Freedom Grower's kind of, you know what I mean? He's kind of, he can be good. He can be, but it was trolling today. So I'm like, you too, Freedom Grower. I'm coming your way too. So I came up here because I'm like, I can't keep up with the chat. So I'm coming up here to talk cash money. Shit. That's where I'm at with it.
That's one of the things I love about you, Cynthia. You don't have a problem facing the chaos.
Yeah.
I respect that. I'm sorry it's been hey, you know what? There you go.
Okay. And ERM. And then you had one, I don't even know who this ERM person or what the fuck that even stands for. But then this fool has the audacity to tell me, stop spamming the chat. Shut up. Like, who are you? Like I was respond at this point with Wizard, he's not even worth more than this sentence. Okay, Wizard, you got it. So anytime he speaks to me, it's the same broken sentence because you're not worth more thought. And then this EPM, whatever, is like, you're spamming the chat. Like, shut up, fool. Watch the show. Okay.
You know what, Cynthia?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry you're dealing with that. I've seen some of the way people have been revealing themselves with you, and they're pretty offensive. And you don't deserve that. And I know you're doing admirably well as far as I'm concerned with how you present yourself. This comment, and not to keep you in the back there, BeeBee, we've got Snafu Snaps in the background.
Oh, BeeBee, I've never met you before. Are you new to the panel?
I am.
Are you familiar with Snaps?
No.
Oh, I feel like we can't do this with her.
Yeah,
here.
sure
Like,
we can. I'm here for it. Let's do it.
Like, we're not gonna have a fight in front of the guests the first night. Maybe the second or third, but not the first night.
No, Cynthia, BeeBee and I have spoken, and she is well prepared.
Oh, then bring them on.
Yeah.
Then you gotta let us rumble. And like you gotta just like give us the floor and give us a time limit, because I'm going in on that little pussy little bitch.
Well,
like you got to.
Cynthia,
come to the rumble, come to the jungle.
But so like before,
okay.
And so never met him. Just saying, it's completely possible that he enters differently than he has in the past.
It is.
Maybe, perhaps, Cynthia, we could give him a chance to show up and then decide if you're going to go in on him?
Of course. I could wake up 50 pounds lighter tomorrow. Okay, let's try it. You know what I mean? Let's try it.
Okay.
Hey.
I will refrain for what, 3 minutes?
Sure.
3. And if within 3 minutes, if I reevaluate the situation and he's coming hot, you gotta let us rumble. Like, I'm fighting this fool. Like, sometimes you gotta let them fight so each other knows what fights in them. Maybe he thinks I'm a pussy and I ain't got it in me. But but we have guests and I want to be on my best behavior.
3 minutes is generous.
Thank you.
And you know what? Bless you. And that was actually a perfect, what I was hoping to do before I bring you up, Snafu. Okay. The goal and the intention, the purpose is for us to have conversations. And as long as we're able to have conversations in the present, you know, we're going to get along just fine. All right. Welcome, Snafu.
Cynthia, a commercial brought to you by Pfizer and the vaccinated. Hey, BeeBee, nice to meet you. Jack Talcott. Hey, BeeBee, watch out for these weaponized hoes. For real. They're going to try and get you in some Me Too movement bullshit. But BeeBee actually seems like a real woman, unlike this Pfizer advocate who says we all should be vaccinated.
And so what do you want to discuss about that?
I want to talk about the feminist movement trying to run in Talcottia tonight. This feminist weaponized bullshit movement that's running around. I hope Talcottia is smarter, Mr. Talcott of Talcottia. And BeeBee, you sound like a real legit woman. You probably could teach these weaponized hoes some things. Other than that, how's it going, Mr. Talcott and BeeBee? Fuck you, you vaccinated hoe.
No.
Wow.
Keep going. I'm not offended.
No, that was really nice. Ask him. That's different, wasn't it, Mr. Talcott? BeeBee. BeeBee seems nice. I like BeeBee so far. Cynthia, you fucking hoe.
Snafu. Yeah. Please.
Okay.
Brought to you by Cynthia and Pfizer.
Snafu. Golly geez, man. You are a challenging man to love, but there is a lot of people who love you.
I love you too, Jack. I hug a buddy with you, fuck a buddy with you all day long. You know it.
Don't you have a problem with Jack not standing up to Flo that you wanted to dress with him?
No, just a weaponized
okay, then never bring it up again.
We handled that, Cynthia.
Here, all right.
Jack and I talked about that. Remember the text you sent me, Jack? Privately?
No.
We had a private text.
Did we?
Yeah, you were like, oh, you should fucking da-da-da, and I'm like, da-da-da, and then that was that.
Sounds about right.
That
what you
doesn't
said.
sound like me.
Right.
You said I should fucking reevaluate my position. So you're telling me that doesn't sound like you? You told me I should reevaluate my position,
right?
and I told you maybe you should reevaluate yours. And we just left at that.
Snafu, offering you the possible correction. Maybe you should reevaluate your position.
I did.
Blah blah blah.
Okay, so I did reevaluate my position. BeeBee seems like a really nice, real woman, non-weaponized. Jack Talcott, you have not let the feminists overrun Talcottia yet, so I'm still like watching. And Cynthia is a spokesman for Pfizer. Brought to you by Pfizer. Cynthia.
Boo. That skid is getting old, man.
Okay, then let's talk about the weaponized Me Too bitch movement going on later.
So here,
I'm glad you brought that up, Snaps Food, because I would like to discuss that too.
Yes. How are we giving people heart attacks and creating them to be? This is how ugly it got, Jack. They are literally blaming people for their mental health, saying if they went suicide or off themselves, that it's our fault, Paul's fault, my fault, Dick Grower's fault, fucking OTW's fault. Like, how is their mental health issues our fault? Let's talk about that. Real talk.
Okay, I'll say something.
Okay, go ahead.
Because the mental health of another person is very much connected to me. The next person is very much connected to me.
So shouldn't they be offline and take care of their mental health?
Listen to what she's saying, Snafu, before
I just did, and
you didn't.
Maybe so. Maybe they should be, but also we have free will. We get to choose what we do.
I'm trying to mute him so that you can get your thoughts out. Whether he's listening or not, I don't know, but I'd at least like to hear what you have to say, okay? And I'll bring him back.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's all I was really saying. You know, it is about the next human. What we're not individuals. Like, we have individuality, but we're all connected to the same consciousness. We're all part of the same invisible web.
BeeBee, let me ask you this.
So yeah, there is some responsibility. I am
not
my
if you're on a public platform. Not if you're on a public platform and can't turn it off to take care of your own mental health. It is no one else's fault.
I can understand his argument, whether it is delivered abrasively.
Now you're getting to be.
I can understand it.
Now you're starting to be me too, like BeeBee.
Okay.
So I want to know how. I would love for you to tell me how.
Here. Please let
Jack keeps muting me. He won't let me talk.
No, it's my turn, Snafu. We take turns. You see, you go, she goes, I go, Jack goes. Okay. So I absolutely agree. There are times that people do need to turn off the metaverse. It can be hurtful and damaging. And that's what Venus and I were talking about today. That sometimes you can say something that, even though, let's, for instance, I'm trying to attack Jack. Okay. But I say something to Jack that triggers other people in the audience watching, that puts them in a bad space. So I was like, you need to be held accountable for that. And then they're like, oh, you got to turn it off. But sometimes people need this on just to keep going. And we don't ever know what our words, the ways we're treating each other, how it's helping or it's hindering somebody. Obviously, we are all entitled to our own opinions and our own faith, our own journeys, our own walks, but we have to start respecting each other. And again, this started when you went after one of the sweetest souls ever, and I'm just not, who used this platform to talk about something personal in her life, and you think it's okay to talk about it, and it's not. And I wouldn't let you do that in real life, and I'm not going to let you do it on the metaverse. Fool. Like, and if you can't get that, Snaps, that's a you problem, and man should correct you on that. But you got people like Paul and you got people like OTW that use you to be the little troll that comes and helps their numbers. You're being used and nobody's trying to help you. That's my issue.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Okay.
That was. Hey, Snafu.
No, I'd like to respond, but you keep backstaging me like a knock.
Snafu, if you can't read the room, if you can't pay attention, Cynthia was speaking to you from her heart. She was speaking with care. Okay. And Snafu, I've talked to you offline. That's true. I know you're a good dude. You care. You're coming across as mean.
Right. These weaponized hoes would put an innocent man in jail. They would yell. They're yelling sexual assault right now online. And here's another thing: you're not going to stop shit, Cynthia. It's public platform, you stupid bitch.
I'm tired of the.
Like, you
You're
can't
done
even
today.
have a rational like he's broken. Like he has those health issues. Now, can you imagine if you have a body that is turning on itself and destroying its own self? What mental state does that put you in, right? So I try to factor that in when I'm dealing with him, but it's becoming contagious, this type of behavior.
Well, we are here to help heal it. Okay. Healing can only be shared with those who are ready, those who are willing. I've been trying to share support and try to share understandings, communicate with people. But Cynthia, you're right. We got people like Snafu and Polly Boy, Tommy, many amazing, inspiring, energetic characters that don't realize that they're being mean. Because, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, BeeBee. So one of the things I've really been bringing up the last 3 or 4 days is that sometimes men speak without emotion. Like they don't put emotion, they don't understand emotion in their conversation, in their words, and when they speak. Like, for instance, there's like a gentleman named John Thomas who will just come up here and state facts, but he sounds emotionless, but he doesn't, like, he's a man. And then there's women like me who's passionate, I have emotion and feelings in it. And so there's this thing that we're just not connecting or balancing, and it's frustrating. And I'm trying to tell people, hey, you have to balance it out. But everybody's like, no, that's not it.
Cynthia, we're so close. We are.
Right.
Because people are still trying. They're still trying. They haven't given up on each other yet. So
Bex, wait till I get a hold of you. I'm sorry.
Is she
Bex is gonna get it.
That's your friend still, right?
No.
Oh,
but that's gonna be on my life anyway. So
all right.
Yeah, but so it's just it's the metaversal rules. Like, do we need to have them? Or do they matter? Do they not matter? Is this a free-for-all wild wild west show? May the best win. It's crazy right now.
Well, I have to tell you that this corner of the universe, this YouTube live, is very much new to me. I just had no idea what it was. I actually found Jack through the Sanity Project and, clicked on his profile in that, which led me to these other links. And so, yes, we should be having these conversations. Yes, it is the wild, wild west. Yes, it needs some, and it's not even about order or governance. It's just about curiosity and experimentation and refining for yourself what's for you, what's not for you. And those who continue to show up and troll or cause issues, cause chaos, a certain part of me understands having the compassion to give them another chance. But at one point, there's clarity. There's a whole lot of clarity. So let's not speak their name anymore. Let's not give any energy to them anymore. Maybe they won't show up in the way that they do. Or if they do show up, maybe they're called to show up in a higher integrity. Mm-hmm. you know, and yes, we do need to be having these conversations, and it's easy for us to fall into men versus women or this versus that. But at the end of the day, we're all humans, and you know, we all have these characters about us. So we all have masculine and feminine energy, and we all need to know how to master that, master ourselves and master both parts of ourselves, our conscious and our unconscious. And so, yeah, the more we talk about it, the more people can show up and realize that this is a tool. You know, this is something very valuable if we so choose to use it that way. Or it could just be a bigger distraction, you know, and take us in the other direction. It's what we choose to do with it.
Right.
Absolutely. Hey, not to take away from anything you shared, but this comment again, agents of chaos are in chaos. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Does like attract like? I reckon yes. Self-check this. Snood Guru, yes. I have been going on deep within me. What in the hell is attracting all of this chaos into my experience? What am I doing? Where the hell are my shit? Where's my blind spot? And then I know exactly what I'm doing. It's the choices I make.
Jack, does this happen in real life? Do chaotic people, are they attracted to you?
It's a mutual attraction.
It's a mutual.
It is. It's something I had to realize about myself, and I've been learning and recognizing this over this past year.
Mm-hmm.
I've grown a lot this year. I am, from my perspective, I feel as though I have.
Well, you and I've talked about this before, and I've told you how it is in my opinion, it's the light in this that are people are drawn to.
Yes.
So in my real life, this is every day. My metaverse life, I'm noticing a similar pattern.
That's right. You got a bunch of accidents and all sorts of crap happening.
Oh yeah.
But let's work on the chaos within you.
Well, it's not. Listen, they're trying to take me out, but they ain't gonna.
No, not to interrupt, but with what you said about being the light and it attracts some of the darkness, you know, for what purpose? It makes sense. It makes sense, but for what purpose? The purpose is to strengthen our light, right? To allow, when we overcome that which dims us, that's where that which darkens our light. Once we overcome that, that memory of success, that feeling of victory and achievement, and then when you can look back and laugh at the stupid things that seemed scary, right? When we can laugh, that's how we know we've healed. That's my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're talking about chaos. And so this year, at some point, I had a huge epiphany that for myself, that the only force greater than control is chaos. So all the spots in my life that were experiencing chaos, I had to self-reflect and wonder what it was about it I was actually trying to control. And lo and behold, white-knuckled holding on to things that I didn't realize that I thought I was unattached to, that I was willing to flow with. But once I was able to reconcile that, the chaos isn't as chaotic. And so there's something in there about learning how to flow and pivot with the chaos and not necessarily meet it with more chaos is what I feel. Yeah.
Yes.
I always find it odd that I'm so in chaos. People are always amazed of how solid and strong I am. Like even when I was in this wreck, I was recently in a really bad wreck, and I called somebody. I was like, "Hey, I've just been in a wreck. I need you to come get me." They thought I was joking because I was so calm and saying it, but I was already. I need to do this. Within 2 weeks, I already had the next car already settled with the insurance. Like in chaos, I'm laser focused. In bliss, I'm just floating around from one spot, one project to another. Oh, I don't feel it. I'm gonna go do this now. So I do enjoy a little bit of chaos in my life because it keeps me sharp and focused. But I understand the balance needs to be had between both.
Yeah. And the truth is, some of us are just wired for the chaos. Some of us are energetically wired in a way that we will constantly experience these initiations throughout life that are chaotic. And we also hold that wiring to be grounded through it. And, like we're that person for our tribe or our community. And that is actually kind of awe-inspiring to others who don't know, who get lost in the chaos.
It's a chaotic world. And I think the key is to learning to adapt quickly, which means, and part of that adaptation quickly is you really can't hold on to nothing because at any moment it can be gone. So you appreciate it while you have it, but you understand it could only be a temporary thing.
Mm-hmm.
Adapting to chaos. That is where I found my freedom. I loved what you said about recognizing that those feelings of chaos, it's a sign maybe that we're seeking control in things that are out of our control. Maybe the chaos isn't actually that chaotic. We just haven't found the order yet. We haven't found the solution. Those little things, those are what I started realizing the past few years. And when we make that commitment, one of those earlier comments, when you make that commitment to be impeccable with your words, with who you are, and to be true, you're going to pay attention to yourself. And with that, when we're honest, life isn't so bad. It's actually pretty amazing. Welcome, Dick, Freedom Grower.
Hey, Dick.
Oh, that's right.
He's one of the ones I was just venting about.
I just recognized
and
that.
I even fucking gave him a compliment too, and he's just a troll.
So test.
Yeah, your mic.
Test.
Your mic
Testing
is
1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Am I coming in? Can you hear me?
Yes.
No.
Thank you. I just wanted to check my audio. Okay, I appreciate that. You guys have a good night. Thanks, Jack. Take care.
Yeah.
Dick's not a troll. I don't know what
like,
you're talking
see
about.
what I mean?
No, not at all. Comic relief never hurt anyone, right?
Yeah. I don't take him personal. I don't take him personal.
Good. Because you know what, Cynthia? I'm observing this in myself and I'm seeing it in others. Dick has triggered me a bunch of times too. He's pissed me off. And I'm like, why? Well, he doesn't be.
He's always
like
high from his tea.
His tea.
That's why. He's just always high. And I'm like, dude, that's some good tea he's drinking right now. No. I low-key be jealous.
Dick, there it is. Dick is a cool troll. I do love Dick. Where were we? I don't even. Cynthia?
Yes.
I've noticed here, each of us in these little communities, we're going through our own versions of the same thing. A bunch of mockery, imposters, impersonators, and just insulting accusations running around. It's an opportunity for us to grow in our compassion, in our own ability to hold space and grace.
Are you about to talk to me about Wizard?
Wizard's another character. I pray to reach that man as well. I do. He's another man. He's got such a big heart, but holy shit, he's got these indie. He's got these huge walls around him, around his heart, and his story is clear. The guy's he's lived a tougher life than I've lived, in many ways. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Wizard is another one, though, that's in this group of characters. It's like, Sophia, tell us how you deny God with
Okay.
filthy. Snafu, your accusations don't even make sense. You say things that are irrelevant and nonsensical. It reveals your state of confusion. Sorry. What were you saying, Cynthia?
I don't know. Like I feel like I'm made for this. I just spoke on how chaos I can be calm. I feel like, you know what I mean? I think that I'm probably made for it more than some. And I think when you make chaotic comments, whether it be in this chat, other chats, panels, on their complete comments on their videos, it's not healthy and it's not okay. And anybody with a heart and empathy can see who is not okay with some of these comments. And it's just frustrating because then you just think, is he such an idiot? He doesn't know that he's doing it. And like, throw out the bathwater. That's what I say.
It's not really an option, though, when we don't control what others do.
Right.
So we get to accept that there's people who think differently. They behave differently than us, and we all know that. Mm-hmm. These just happened for whatever reason. God chose to bring these people into our lives. Here's another one that just triggers the hell out of me. I love Lou. Lou, you are such a lovable guy, but you're such...
I feel the same way. But his dad just died. That can't be in a good state.
Oh, I didn't know
so
that.
You have to factor that in. So Lou can make it, but
that one was good fun. Much love, mushy love, But hey, BeeBee,
look at Wizard calling Sophia pathetic. This is what I'm talking about. And see, and then I'm a decent person. I don't even censor you, but you're not even responsible enough with the freedom of your speech. You're using your words to attack somebody. You're not saying that to help her. You don't genuinely love and care about her, because if you did, you would have had conversations with her and you would have spoken to her in a manner that she understood, if you were a man that understood women. But he's not. And it's evident in his behavior and in the relationship with his mother.
Yeah. And then here, while I'm administering the stream, sharing the stream, I don't like people to be rude, and I don't like people to be overly censored either. And holy cows, man. Hey, what BeeBee was saying, that this little corner of the metaverse, it's a little unique, perhaps, but it's actually not as well. The good news is there are many other groups and communities that are really more focused. And I think this is growing into that. I hope that this grows into a community where we're focused on healing and helping each other.
I like that.
Okay, big dumbass. Not you, BeeBee. Wizard. women do need to understand men more, but like we need to start with that first. Like, let's start. By any means, don't ever think that I think that women understand men, and women need to learn how to let men be men. And that's a different thing. That's why I try to, when I talk to people, like, I don't want to put, harsh on him because I truly like him, John Thomas. I understand that he's not talking to me from an angry place. This is his manly ways. This is the ways he was raised. So, you big stupid dummy, that conversation can be had, but I'm saying let's start here because right now it's evident of men attacking women, and you're just throw out the bathwater. Where's the window? Oh, and then somebody paid to have snaps come up $2. Snaps is only worth $2.
I don't think it's enough to bring him up, to be honest.
It's not.
But Cynthia, hey, what you said is, you said a lot there again. But
I told you I'm hot today, man. I'm hot.
I know.
And then Jack, the last 2 nights, you and I, we've been on these panels for hours talking about God, and I see the hunger of people wanting just to hear the conversation, whether it lines with me, you, BeeBee, the next person. People are just grasping, hungry for these conversations, and you want to have them, but at the same time, it brings about chaos. And you're like, oh, shit, I can do that. I can do that party dance too. Let's go. So I came in hot. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Okay.
Hey, and I was, just so others know, I see that, and I want you to get it out, right? I want you to feel better. My goal with you, share space, right? We're here to help each other feel better and to do better. So if I can help you feel better, that's my hopes.
And that is, thank you. And I didn't even think about it till you said it, because this is the type of feeling you don't want to hold on to. This is the type of feelings that make you angry. And I'm not carrying it with me. I mean, I really wouldn't have. I would have vented to the dogs. The dogs don't like you either, wizard. So thank you so much for even acknowledging that, because I didn't even see it until you said it. But yes, this is truly a precious commodity. So when people are like, oh, we're just going to love bomb like Jack. No, that's crap. Y'all don't understand the value of love in this type of environment, because y'all probably don't have it in your real life.
That's a very real possibility. And here, what I wanted to offer as well is that Snafu did come up to the back. He's not banned from the stream, but the timing wasn't right, and he left. Well, Snafu, you're welcome to come back up, and when the timing's right, I'll bring you back up.
Okay, so this horny for Talcott, don't know who that is, but they're saying, how are words attacking someone? I don't get it. Again, everybody can sit here and say
words are powerful,
and they have meaning.
Yes.
BeeBee, you could please, I don't want to take up the whole stage.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm just
no, please.
Words are powerful.
For saying it.
Words can build a person or they can tear them down. The words that happen in our head are internal self-talk. So what words are we telling ourselves? Are we building ourselves or tearing ourselves down? Words are how we manifest things. It's literally how we bring things into creation. Like, yeah, words can be attacking and they can be loving.
And I feel like if I'm trying to attack Jack with words, these words could trigger somebody else. Like they have a ripple effect. And people, and I don't think people have, first of all, they don't have self-awareness, panel awareness, so they sure as the heck don't have ripple awareness.
Right. I like what Miss Scarlett said. Words are spells. Definitely.
Absolutely. And here, I dropped the chat that started that up, but words do carry the power to make and or break, to heal or destroy. And so do we want to serve the God of life and love with the truth, or do we want to be attacking and crippling with with what words we can know.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing, the spells, this is where I face this when we've got these people coming at us with these false narratives, these false accusations, like Cynthia's been dealing with, taking something completely out of context in order to twist it around and create these attacks. That it does a number of things. It spreads false realities. It spreads lies and confusion beyond just the one instigating in the topic, the subject, but more so, guys, gaslighting, manipulating. There are some people in toxic relationships because they don't know any better. They've picked up these patterns of thought from their abusers. And I've had an unhealthy relationship with several people here in these metaversal platforms who will constantly want to cast their dark spells and lies at me. Hey, what doesn't break us makes us stronger, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I was in the chat. In the chat's always a fun place to be in too.
The chat can get a little crazy just to
yeah.
Just to kind of, you know, what I found for myself when my goal was to become better and to become impeccable with my word, I was more focused on self-awareness, really paying more attention to the voices in my head, the thoughts and the words I was thinking. The best way to create a filter within our mind, the best way to change our thinking is to make changes externally. Change your environment. Changing the environment is going to change what's consumed and what's within. And that can transform very quickly. Welcome, Dick. Freedom Grower.
Again, people think it's the words. And I'm saying the words can trigger memory, emotions that you don't understand into other people. If y'all can't get it, damn, y'all we not the same. We not the same. If y'all don't understand that, y'all are lacking a heart. Like something's missing somewhere, from my opinion. Because I'm able to see a person and realize when they're broken and need help. And if you walk around life and can't see that, that's scary.
Think about Jesus, right? As a man who, if you read John, he didn't say I'm God, but without saying he's God, he said it in every other word, right? Like he said, I am one with the Father. All authority that the Father has is in me. And he made it clear there was no separation, that if you've seen the Father, you've seen the Son. If you've seen the Son, you've seen the Father. And yet Christianity is to follow Christ. Or even if you're like me and you say, well, I'm not going to take a label, but I definitely am inspired by this man's life and the words written down. And so I seek to take the value that I glean from it and implement it in my day to day. But if I'm honest about it, like you'll never scrape even close to that, because if Jesus was here in the way that he's explained in that book, everyone would hate him. All the Christians would hate him. They'd all turn their back on him because everything that he did and stood for in that book, they would laugh at and consider, not part of their club, because there's no place for the Son of Man to lay his head. He forsaked everything, right? Take everything you have, give it to the poor. And when they wanted to see a sign from him, he didn't give it to him. He told them there won't be a sign for you. I won't do a miracle for you. I'm not here to prove anything to you. I know who I am.
He did plenty of
As a matter of
miracles.
fact, if you're going to try to define me, I'll let you do it. I won't even say anything. Who do you say I am?
The truth.
So it's an interesting dichotomy. I bring up all that up just to say, like, this idea of this spirituality, this true spiritual walk, it seems like most that take that on end up falling into martyrdom or some kind of sacrificial, ceremony where they if you really do it, they're going to kill you is basically what it comes down to.
That was in the past. I believe we're entering into a new time and a new energy. I think this is.
I don't think there's anything new under the sun in that respect. And I know this is where I'll trigger you, but it's like that's where, these things are what they are. It's this world is not meant for that. It's it might bring that out of you, but you might have to die for it.
Okay. I'm prepared. I mean, that's the way of following the Christ, is that you're prepared to die.
But nobody does, is what I'm saying. The pastor doesn't. There's nobody's embodying what the Christ stood for, right?
I did.
Forsaking everything of this world.
I did.
Dick, so how does this tie in to the way that words can affect people? Like, what do you think that a lot of people said words to Jesus, or because we're on
Jesus
this conversation?
Said things. He said, "Take up your cross." He
absolutely.
If you look at the life he lived, and if Christianity is a word and it means to follow Christ, well, that means you would attempt to be in his footsteps, right? So if he said, "I'm one with God," that would mean you'd say, "I'm one with God." What will people do when you say, "I'm one with God"?
They'll get confused. I've tried offering my interpretations of that.
And the louder you say it and the more that you grow in that message, the more that's just going to trigger people and their egos and cause them to want to come against you. So go ahead and be like the Christ. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I think that's a beautiful, noble thing. But you are taking up a cross that will defeat you in some degree. In the flesh, it's gonna tear everything apart. What's that?
So when you pick up a cross of love, do you think that it's then you are now expected to be receiving the hate daggers that come at you at all places, and that's your own fault because you chose to walk with the cross? Is that what you're saying?
So now you're redefining the Christ to fit into your own.
No, I'm trying to correlate what you're doing, because that's right now, Dick, it feels like you're just doing.
I'm reading in that book,
trolling. So
and I don't understand how.
The benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt that you wanted to come up here and contribute to this conversation.
Cynthia, I could give two fucking old retired turds about what you think about me. I'm going to contribute the way I choose to contribute, whether you like it or not.
That's why I'm trying to correlate it and asking you questions. And if you're offended by that, that's not a me problem. That's a you problem.
That is true.
The only one that seems to be offended is you. I mean, I'll share my opinion.
I was asking you a question.
Get triggered about it like you are.
Can both just pause just for a moment? Okay. I respect both of you. I care about both of you. I admire both of you in different ways. And I actually think I am pretty good at helping understand, and maybe we can resolve some disagreements. Because Dick, I'm curious about some of the things where you're going, right? I'm trying.
Well, you notice how offended everybody gets and how they assume that I'm just being a troll, just like with, the thing Sophia came and she read a verse the other night and Flo got all out of sorts. He was all uptight about it. And you see the same thing here, right? I bring in a perspective that when I see the Christ, I don't see anyone embodying that or even close to it. And I think when you really point to what he stood for, it makes Christians get uncomfortable because they see that you're pointing out, I'm not willing to step into those shoes. I'm not willing to say I'm one with God.
Here's what I'd like to offer. I'd offer for you to consider, okay? I understand what you're saying. I was foolish enough to think, what if? What if I could? What if I could follow the way of Christ and actually understand? Well, I stopped believing that I could not understand God. And then what really helped me was when I stopped imagining God was separate from me. And I just accepted the truth. Because, Dick, what you're saying, brother, is absolutely true about the hypocrisy of mankind, what many people show. That is exactly what kept me out of the churches. And unfortunately, I didn't raise my son in church either. And here we are. Everyone's pretty familiar with my story. So, and I'm not saying a church is the solution, but Dick, here's what I want to offer, not just to you, but to everyone. What if you can be one with God? And, you know, through practice and purpose, what if you could get out of your own way and allow God to perfect you? In the end, that's kind of what I was doing. It took me a long time to figure out how to get the hell out of my own way. But I set the goal to try and perfect myself in different ways.
So, Dick, how do you feel like? Do you feel like it's okay for men to talk about women and the things sexually that's happened to them or the way that they've been treated? Like, it's okay. Men should say these things to women. Like, I see you on a lot of panels. As a matter of fact, I've seen you on a panel where you encourage things about me to be said. So, is this something like, would you do this in your regular life as well as your metaversal life?
Do you think it was appropriate for Christ to tell the woman who came to the table to partake with him that to characterize her as a dog coming to the table to give the crumbs of his
what
table?
scripture is that in, Dick?
Was that appropriate for Christ to do that?
What scripture is that in, Dick? I'm curious
Well,
to
look
read
it
that.
up.
We
I'm
can
sure
read
you
it
know your
together.
Bible.
No. We can
I
read
wouldn't
it
make
together
anything
right
up,
here. I
would I?
got it. Let's read it, Dick.
Yeah,
I
read
asked
it.
you a
Bring it
question
up.
about you and about men and women, and you deflected
Do
it
you
to the
think it's
Bible. So if you're
appropriate
trying to quote me the
if I'm
Bible, I
following the
would
Christ and
appreciate
I
it
see
if
that
you
he
would give
called a
me the
woman a
verse.
dog? Do you
And
think that's
what verse
appropriate?
was that he called a woman a dog? If you're saying it, and you
Where
should
did
know
he
it.
call a woman a dog?
What verse are you saying?
When the
Dick?
Gentile woman came to the table
What verse
to
are you getting
massage his
that from,
feet,
Dick?
and she was massaging his feet, and he said, "I have not come
What
but for
verse are
the
you
lost
getting? Like, he's
children of
trolling, Jack.
Israel."
Hold
You
on,
have to see
Cynthia.
he's trolling.
Do you know your
Please.
Bible? If you knew your
You're bold.
Bible,
You
you'd be able to
can't give me
reference
the
it.
verse.
Go to Bible
You're
Hub and just
trolling.
search that up, and
You
it'll
are-
take you right to it.
Dick, please.
You know I'm telling the truth, Jack. You know I'm
Yeah.
quoting scripture.
Well, I understand, but you're also doing so with an aggression that's not really helping. Okay. And I know Cynthia's offering some aggression as well. You two are
Absolutely.
kind of matching some energy. And I'd ask, let's
Well,
detach.
she asked
all
me a
right.
question.
I
was just
well,
responding
And
with
you still
scripture
did
to
it.
answer
You
her
answered the
question.
question with the question.
Yeah, because I'm giving an
I'm
example
curious
of where
I'm
the
curious what
Christed
Dick's
being
answer would be from
took
his
the same
heart
kind
instead
of
of from
energy.
scripture.
That's a good.
That's a good
Does
Yeah,
he
I'm
have a
taking the
heart though,
exact
BeeBee?
same energy that the Christ took, and
Dick.
he exactly what I said is being illustrated here. When you act like the Christ, you get ostracized and you get torn down for it. So I mean, the reality is, you could say what I just did was Christ-like. I quoted the
No,
truth.
No, it
I
wasn't.
would say
I would
it's
never.
a.
I would never think that
You can't
about
even
you.
stand on
Dick.
your own word, and you don't even know
Hey,
it well enough
Dick.
to know I'm telling the truth.
Hey, Dick, I know you don't have a lot of respect for me, but I'd appreciate it if you can at least pretend while you're here and show a little deference to what what I'd like, please. I disagree completely with your interpretations of a book, Dick. You were asked a good question. So what if the book says that you can follow Jesus and call a woman a dog? So what? What does your heart say? You think that's righteous for a man?
What have you ever heard me say that is disrespectful to a woman? Name one thing I've ever said on here, metaversally, in real life, ever, that I've ever said disrespectful to a woman.
I can't recall any. I haven't been looking for that though either. So
I've never said that. I asked if you thought that
So
was
can I let
okay.
my actions speak for themselves? I mean, is the fruits of my actions not worth enough to be a defense for itself?
Oh, I see your
Dick,
fruit.
actually, hold on. Dick, that is very fair, okay? But I do believe the question was brought up in association, perhaps. Maybe because I think some of this is coming from an experience I was not a part of. And so maybe it's guilt by association, but regardless, we all know we can treat each other with kindness, because that, the story of Jesus, the perfected one who lived, he was a man of honor and love, of compassion. See, compassion, that's a topic in and of itself. But without love, without compassion, we have no love. And the signs of compassion are mercy, are forgiveness. Cynthia, forgiveness. Remember that.
Oh, absolutely. But I don't see
What
good.
would you
Like
need
I'm
to
looking at
forgive me
his fruits
for?
and the fact. Okay, I'm looking at fruits of people, and when they come in and they detract from the conversations that are being had, I have to ask myself, why are they doing that? When I
Well, you
ask
don't like my
questions
input.
directly towards the person and then they deflect it, I have to say, why are they doing that? This
You don't
isn't the
like my
first
answer.
interaction I've had. So at this point, and he's right, I do need to judge him from his fruits. He's nothing. It's not, I don't value what he thinks.
I
Well,
agree. I'm no thing. You are correct.
Okay.
See this, Cynthia? I'm going to
Yes.
encourage you to go past that, please. And I don't,
Well, and I
I'm not
can, but not
here.
at this moment.
Amen.
Not at this moment.
Amen. You know
That's
what?
fair.
This
That's
moment,
fair.
I'm gonna just be
Hey,
here.
hey, Cynthia, thank you. And I need that reminder sometimes. Sometimes I keep
Yeah.
pushing when I should just back the hell off,
It's
right?
just, and I'm so triggered by everything because again, this is a conversation. I'm trying to help men see the way they treat women are different. And then I'm engaging in this conversation. We're having great conversation, and someone comes up for whatever reason or a motive and totally derails it. And it's bringing to my
Why
point.
can't I just bring my
People
genuine,
don't want
authentic
healing.
perspective
People just
without
don't
being
want
judged and
healing.
condemned by you like I'm some kind of fucking sinner from hell because I have a different perspective than you? I have a different interpretation. Just if there's
Yeah.
any gems there, take it, throw out the bathwater. If not, if there's nothing, like you say, then just, keep it moving. I don't
Hey,
need to dominate the conversation.
for me, Dick, it's not the wisdom. It's there is something you bring that you've triggered me in the past. I've offered you disrespect and frustration. And what my opinion is it is a reluctance and a resistance, perhaps in both of us. I won't assign any blame, but between us there's a resistance. And I'm seeing a I'm seeing a resistance between you guys. You're both of the same faith. It's just different understandings. And Dick, the thing
I know Cynthia doesn't agree with that.
I just
I
shook my
think we
head.
are
No.
different. I think we come from different perspectives, but that's all right. It's like we're all fractals of the Most High. So we see it. No, we all see through smoke glass, there's no perfect perspective of God. You're not going to bind the boundless. You're not going to frame the frameless. It's the Most High. We walk with it. We're accountable to it, and we're conscious to it if we're in seek of the Spirit, and that's a personal walk. And anyone that tries to define that for you or tell you got it right or wrong is probably out of sorts with their own walk. So take that for what it's worth.
Yes. Part of being in touch with our own walk, though, is being in touch with those who share our experience. And I've noticed, especially on this universe, the metaverse here. Let me see if I tag that. People seem to use this form of technology and communication to really shut down their feelings, shut down their care. It's like no one holds any accountability, very little responsibility for what they say or how they treat people. And so CIA, whose problem is it that people have triggers? Well, it depends. If you want a world of peace and, people are going around setting off triggers and building triggers in each other, what good is that? if we go around helping each other heal from the triggers, talking through the emotions, working through the reactions together, then it's no problem at all. Because really, the triggers aren't a problem. It's the results of our triggers. When we allow the triggers to move us, guys, anger does nothing. Hate does nothing. Doing things out of spite, out of revenge, that's nonsense.
Yeah, I don't think triggers are necessarily a problem. They're just a known variable, you know, and the more the people are aware that this is a thing, because I believe it's more of a recently fad kind of word that people understand. But as long as we understand it's a variable in our human condition, then we can mind them, like you just said, Jack. Like we can work through them together. No one has to be, I don't know, no one has to be in it alone, you know?
You know what? That is honestly, that's my personal goal. The world I want in the future is where people don't feel alone. Because when people don't feel alone and afraid, well, then they're not going to turn to self-destructive addictions and substances, and poverty won't exist because there will be communities of people who help each other. And triggers are a projection of insecurity. But as BeeBee was talking, I was considering their society today. Even the mainstream, many of the industry educated professionals in the mental health industry profession, a lot of the mental health professionals don't actually understand the mind. Just like a lot of preachers don't actually really understand God. They understand a book. Many doctors of the mind, they understand books written by others, but we are alive at this time. I am confident that we are all here to heal. We are here to heal ourselves from the past karma, from the generational patterns of abuse, of poverty, of whatever. Those things end with us. They can. And the triggers, they're a warning system for us. They're a gift from God for us to learn from, to overcome. And there's plenty of experts and many credentialed authorities teaching this stuff. It's getting to be better known. I don't know if that's a moose. Mo 53. Thanks for the contribution, and I guess thanks for playing along in my experience.
Hey, make your money, Jack.
Praise God, you know?
Amen.
I don't know. Guys, this life we are living, your life is as good as your mindset. Allow your mind. What's that?
I was going to say in your heart.
Yes. I think our mindset, our mind is the gatekeeper to the heart. The heart really knows, but the mind will tell it what is and is not allowed. And the heart is there to expand. It's to grow. We're here to love and I don't know, to share and develop our presence at this time of life. You know, 2,000 years ago, the patterns of history brought forth an amazing man, amazing story. And how many amazing stories do you know of today? Can you accept that you're living an amazing story? Can you accept that your life has had purpose, right? I hope everyone can. Yea, Lord, they at the dog's eat. Observe this woman's prudence. She does not dare to contradict him, nor is she vexed with the commendation of the Jews and the evil word applied to herself. But she said, Yea, Lord, yet the dogs eat. I think that's where that was.
Yeah, and I'll fully admit I don't have a perfect interpretation of it. I didn't have verbatim, but it still illustrates my point. And she accepted that label, that position.
I kind of want to push.
But God said it, not just, anybody. I
If
don't know.
people quote me Bible verses and they can't actually give me the verses, I dismiss the words that they say because it's trash.
I probably could talk circles around you about the Bible and not be able to tell you one verse. So, apologize that the way that I remember things is not, specific to how you absorb information, but that doesn't necessarily not have to work for everyone else.
Dick,
When I absorb information, I'm going to check it, especially if you're talking about something that is my essence. I'm not.
You should test all things. You should inspect what you expect.
Absolutely.
You should test all things.
And I judge people by their fruits.
So me not stating the verse doesn't stop you from or deny you from inspecting what you expect.
I agree with
Joyce.
there.
Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Not one of those have you demonstrated.
Well, hey, but we can find the good, right? The good is available, please. Because Dick,
Dick did teach me the importance of drinking tea correctly and to treat it more so. So, and I even said that complimentary earlier in the chat. So I did my part. Yay me.
Hey, I did kind of want to, I'll come back to this, but Snafu has returned and let's see if the energies can be different.
No, I'm just watching Cynthia attack Dick now. She's on attack Me Too victim mode.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
Yeah, you're attacking everyone in your weaponized feminist ways.
Hey, Snaps,
why are you attacking Dick like that? Dick's pretty cool with everyone.
Okay, good. I don't care. Hey, I wanted to ask
I know you don't care. You don't care because you're weaponized feminist fucking.
Okay, whatever. I don't. It's Dick. Who cares? Hey,
Talcott, why are you not seeing me?
Did you think that? Oh, well, I think him and Sophia had some words in the chat, and I was wanting to see, but I guess he's still on 10.
Were you talking about Snafu?
Yeah.
I put him in the back because I was trying to hear what you said, and Snafu lacks the.
Well, I think Sophia thinks Snaps is the one saying rude things about Angeline, and I wanted to confirm if that was what I saw, and then I wanted to correct it. So, but I wanted to hear it from him.
Here, let me offer this. May I,
Mm-hmm.
Cynthia? May I offer some intended to be helpful feedback?
Yeah, of course, Jack. I won't be offended.
Well, I understand the desire to want to stand up for what's true, especially when you see that the truth has been twisted in the purpose of harming others. It's not our place to persecute. It's our place to help correct, and we help correct when we understand.
Right.
At this point, Snafu is still in a state of confusion.
You think so?
He will eventually start realizing he'll have the benefit of hindsight, and eventually he'll learn the humility and strength to look back at what he's been doing and saying. And I have faith he'll find different ways of presenting himself. I really do.
You do?
I do.
Good.
And here, to kind of push back a little bit, perhaps, and I don't want to overly include what Dick was saying about the idea of the Christ. And I get a lot of people, I've heard and seen a lot of people making the excuse of, well, Jesus, he flipped the tables, he showed righteous anger, he showed this, he showed that, as though it is our excuse to behave that way on a regular basis. And it's like, no, that's a bunch of nonsense. The Christ was here. The Christ is here. The spirit of comfort, the spirit of love and inspiration. It is here to guide us. But we are only here right now. And so every right now, that's our opportunity to allow our meanness to fade. Snafu, before I bring you up, is there any chance your meanness can fade? Can you bring any encouragement and...
Yeah, I can. Hey, Dick, good job trying to not let these weaponized hoes fucking trigger you and not letting Nazi Jack block you. You did well. Good job, Dick.
Thanks, Snaps. Always appreciate your vote of confidence.
There you go. And fuck you, Cynthia. Brought to you by Pfizer.
All right. Love you too, Snaps. Talk to you later.
Hey, don't you feel it's very powerful that Jack's listening to you and backstaging me for you to let you push your Me Too agendas on his show?
No, I don't think that's the case at all. Hey, but Dick, I wanted to come back to your verse. I found it. It's Matthew 15:27.
Yeah, it was already put in the chat.
Yeah,
like
he said, he replied that it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. Yes, it is, Lord, she said. Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table. Then Jesus said to her, woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted, and her daughter was healed. He never called her a dog. She said that the master, the one that she served, threw food to her like a dog. Now I would like to kind of put this in today's times. God. In today's time. Hey, you're
such a good Christian. Up. That's so impressive.
You brought this up. We can put it. How many times do we think we're helping somebody and we just throw them something and we say, well, I helped them out, but we're really treating them like a dog. But we really don't have
exactly. So anyway, no need to apologize, Cynthia. We all saw what happened there, so everybody knows what's going on.
Okay.
You can obfuscate and lie to yourself if that makes you feel better.
Didn't get me.
Really good example of a Christian, though. Very par for the course.
Well, you brought up the verse and I confirmed it, and then I confirmed that Jesus didn't call her a dog. And as a Christian, that's what I'm called to do. If somebody tells me
read
that
it, everybody heard exactly what it said.
I'm to find it.
We all know what's going on here. Okay. You'd have to be a complete idiot to not see that it articulates my point perfectly.
Okay. All right. Keep drinking your tea, bud. It's making you stronger as the days go by.
You're such a good Christian. Tell us about the love of Christ, Cynthia. Tell us about your Savior, Jesus, who changed your life and made you the amazing person that you are now that we could all take an example of.
Well, first thing he taught was not to be lured in by the
look at her fruits, Jack. I can't call her on her same bullshit. She sits here and spews this fucking putrid nonsense, and I'm just sit here idly on the sidelines and absorb it or something.
Right, you guys can keep comparing to see which one's worse or which one can rise above first. Which one can actually show the spirit of the Christ instead of the spirit of the mama.
Cynthia likes short walks to the fridge, big dicks, and heart attacks.
Are you right about that second one, though? Again, if you quote the scripture, and I'm going to confirm it, you said that Jesus called somebody a dog. That was not accurate according to the word. That's all I did. If you have a problem with that, that's okay. That has nothing to do with me. That's your problem. I didn't call you out of your name.
He was characterizing her as a dog, and she accepted that label and that position.
That's not true. That's not true.
Okay, expound on it. Read it again and break it down to me what it actually means and not what it says.
I'm going to be honest.
Be a pastor and reinterpret what it says as something else so that we can all understand what it means, which is not what it says.
I'm gonna be
Well,
honest
how
with you
about
and tell you I don't want to waste my time doing that.
how about
Right,
yes,
exactly.
please,
That makes
Dick,
sense.
Dick, please, Cynthia, please. Resolve can be found if we actually identify what the disagreement is. Okay, the disagreement for the past little bit has been over the verse, but the verse was brought up in response to a question that Cynthia asked. And I remember the question generally, but I don't remember the relevance, Cynthia.
Yeah, she was asking me about how
I asked him
it's
if he
okay
thought
to
it was
characterize
okay
a
that
woman, and I
men
said,
went to
was it okay for the
panel.
Christ to characterize
That's not what I
the
said.
Gentile,
Hold
which
on,
was a
Dick,
Samaritan?
please. What was the question you asked, Cynthia?
I asked him if I thought it was okay that men go to panels and say things to women and like the sexual assault, the topic we were on earlier. I tried to bring it back around. So instead of taking Christ or anything out of it, I went directly and asked, do you think it's okay? And then he reflected it back to this Bible verse.
He
Then I
brought up the
asked him
scripture.
to
Yeah.
confirm the verse, and he told me to go look it up. So we kind of went back and forth, and then y'all had conversations.
Great. So, thank you.
You're
So,
welcome.
Dick, do you still believe that it's a pro? I mean, let's come back to the question. I mean, as a man, your heart, you're the one, Dick. I admire you so much, the way you do flow with the truth. You express the truth from the scripture, and it's not the
Thank you.
memorization. I see that.
Yeah,
What
so
do you
that's
call
why
it?
when I apologize, Jack. Go right ahead.
What do you call it? The eternal seer, or you've got a term you use often. The consciousness inside, whatever it is, the pure that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know specifically. I mean, I just kind of go off the cuff, but and
Well,
now I lost my point. But if you're asking me to unilaterally characterize something that could have endless variables, like it's right or wrong for someone to say something to a woman when I have no context, no background, no idea
okay,
what took place leading up to that, that's a
fair enough.
complete, straw man type of scenario that only a duplicitous type of person like Cynthia would try to corner someone into.
Well,
So
hold,
got to call that out for what it is.
Let's not jump to conclusions about or
Okay, Dick.
narratives. We can accept that the past conversations and questions brought us to here, but I believe Cynthia brought it up for a good reason. Snafu is not one that we can communicate. Now, I agree, Dick, that if there's a question about behavior, is there specific incident?
And also, he came up. We didn't come, like we were already in the conversation.
Is Dick involved with the snafu thing somehow?
Oh no. So that's why I asked him as a third person. And remember, he sat on that panel, and I even brought up as someone who sat on a panel and encouraged things about me to be said. Remember when I did the video and Dick was always like, what? I always had him coming up and saying something. I forgot. I made him a meme. But so I was like, okay, we can go back to that. So none of this conversation was pulled from air to attack him. I was trying to stay on subject.
I understand. There were some past conversations that were unresolved, that were not pleasant from your experience. I don't know.
I didn't care about that. He just came up. We were in the conversation. Yeah. I said, okay, 2 men, 2 women. Let's get your opinion. It's turned into this.
Gotcha. Regarding what Snafu said, I saw a comment made in this chat here about Angeline that was absolutely inappropriate and unacceptable.
It's not Snaps. That's how come I wanted to talk to Snaps. I don't want people to think that I think that Snaps isn't the one that talked about Angeline that has me upset. I just didn't want to say his name because he's irrelevant. He's just the person that does it. So now the question became, why do men keep talking about trauma that's happened to women when they're not even a woman that could understand the process of that trauma? And
Gotcha.
this conversation is a conversation that I'm noticing, not you, Jack, that men are not liking or feeling comfortable with. And some women too.
The topic of abuse.
I don't want to speak for Angeline. She did talk about it last night on Flo's panel.
Yes.
So I don't ever want to say anything.
No.
Because again, we're talking about Angeline.
Well, here, regardless of,
she's sweet.
Without names, the topic of abuse, that is a serious topic, and it is something that, you know, men and women, perhaps, men specifically, and I think that is the topic Cynthia was bringing up. But I've said this before, in my newer perspective, I've simplified my roles and definitions, and I'm of a firm belief that a man's role here on earth is to help create a safe space for women and children. So, that said, part of a man's role in helping to create a safe space is recognizing that there has been patterns of abuse that have crossed any reasonable lines. And we can be more sensitive to each other's pains because we're all carrying crap within each other. Does that help?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's just hard for me to understand how a man could even begin to tell a woman, you were assaulted, get over it, and think that that's okay, because you don't know what that does. And because it's more than just the assault. It's the moment of feeling powerless. And so I just don't think, and so I'm just trying to bring awareness to it. And I'm being met with, you're dumb, words can't hurt, you're so stupid, you know, you just don't get it. And I'm okay with that. But it's just, nobody's even talking about it, just you and I and BeeBee. Everybody else is like, they're even just dodging the whole conversation. And maybe it's too heavy of a conversation and people don't know how to have it. And that's something that I need to recognize and be like, okay, this conversation can't be had with everybody. But I don't know. I mean, that's just something I started thinking about 2 minutes ago. Like, okay, maybe they're mentally, they can't even have this conversation.
I think we're all learning together, honestly. Snafu, I see you in the back. Okay. I wanted you said something that I did want to touch on. Oh, the lack of sensitivity. This is a pattern I am aware of in myself, and I'm not blaming it on gender, but a lack of compassion. Yeah, I do that, but I know why I do it. I've been insensitive to people in pain because I know when they can push past their fucking pain, they will feel freedom of healing. They will feel the relief and the peace once that's gone. So the brutal, honest truth for all of us, regardless of the past, is we've got to find a way to get over it. We've got to find a way.
Can I say something without getting blocked or Nazi'd? Fully say it?
Depends on what you say.
No, you're allowing her to spill all this fucking filth out. I just find it interesting she's spitting out this weaponized narrative. She's using the words assaulted now.
Go away.
What?
But so, I wasn't saying he assaulted her. Like, I was saying she was assaulted. Like, what?
Please.
Don't even Don't even.
BeeBee?
I want to tell Cynthia thank you because I see
Thank
her
you.
heart and I do see the intent. And I will also say, yeah, it's a heavy subject and not everyone can maneuver it with compassion. But I know, and I'm speaking as a female who has had abuse in her past and has been told to shut up about it and get over it already. But because I've had that experience, it has definitely deepened my compassion for the other person. It's not easy, but I very well will admit that there are equal amounts of men that there are women who have suffered abuse in their past. And
Absolutely.
maybe the focus has been more on women for sure, but it is something that needs to be talked about. It is something that the human consciousness, we have to navigate this, y'all. We have to be able to hold space. And for those who can't hold the space, I see an even harder heart. I don't know. My heart grows bigger for that person. It doesn't mean that we need to give them all the space to take up or to fill it with the hate that they have. I mean, it's okay to disconnect from that, but also see that is just pain being spewed from that person. And who knows what they have in their past and what's triggering them. But
You're right.
mostly, I want to say thank you for braving this conversation and navigating it the best you can, because I also sense how it is, affecting you as well. And so thank you.
And I'm so sorry that's happened to you. This is something that's not happened to me, but this is something that I've invested time in volunteering. I have people that it's happened to when I worked at the hospital. That's the department, the OB-GYN. Of course, the assault victims would always come in, and I always saw that trauma. And so, okay, so to put this in perspective, Jack, this is like the times that another host, when people who this other host is recovered from heroin, so other heroin addicts will come and talk to them. And then if I was on the panel and I was like, oh, who cares? You deserved it. You deserve to do those drugs because you were just a stupid dummy. Like, I would be the worst person on the panel. I would be kicked off. I would be this. I would be that, regardless of if it was male or female. So I don't understand why we can all have that sensitivity towards recovering addicts, whether it be of alcohol or whether it be of drugs, but we can't have the same sensitivity towards victims. And I'm not talking about victims on the internet, but I'm talking about victims in real life, and then using the internet to I say attack them, but to use that for whatever malicious reason you're choosing to.
People act. Oops, excuse me.
But so someone said get over it, and that was insensitive from your perspective, and you're saying that we should.
I'm saying they shouldn't have said, maybe I saw it because that's all you were worth, and just talked about it. Instead of maybe they shouldn't have even said nothing about it. If a woman chooses to come up here and share a story, that is her right to do. And if she's sharing that story because she's trying to help somebody that she hears, or because it's helping her in expressing it and helping her heal, why are we weaponizing it? That's all I'm saying. And if I saw a woman doing this, I would be up here talking about the woman the same way.
I understand. The
lack
lack
of,
it's.
Oh, and I hear I'm interrupting. Go ahead, Jack.
Thank you, Dick. The lack of sensitivity, the lack of sensitivity is a pattern.
Fuck God, put me in the back, Jack. Damn it.
You got something to get out, Dick?
I forgot what we were talking about. What's the subject? Oh, the whole thing. I mean, showing compassion, empathy. I'm with you. I mean, it's important. It may not always be the best platform or situation. That's why I say I can't paint with a broad brush with these things, because I don't, you could be in the middle of a comedic skit and then someone comes in, people don't even know if it's a bit, non-bit, what the hell's going on sometimes with the panels. So I can't just say it's a one size fits all. I do know that there have been scenarios where someone who just dwells in their own patheticness and apathy, and someone does shake them out of it in a snap and says, get the fuck out of your own imagination, as you say, Jack, or get over it, move on. This is, 30 years ago now. You've absorbed it. You've looked at it from every possible way, and you've done the inner work. So now it's time to heal and get over it. So it could be a beautiful thing to say, right? It just depends the context and the way it's presented.
Go ahead, Cynthia.
It can be if the person is actually there to have the conversation with. It's a different thing when they're not there and you're using them for the conversation.
This idea of, oh crap, I lost what I was going to bring out. But one thing I learned for myself is that life can change in an instant. When we gain a different perspective on things, when we learn different things, it can change our lives. And those who have found the strength to overcome addiction, to overcome abusive patterns, abusive relationships, those people who have survived, sometimes they got thick skin, but they know the power of healing. And there was those questions. That was what I wanted to come back to. Sorry. Thank you again for the contribution, but it's not accurate. I mean, totally taken out of context. Most know they have trauma. What are practical steps we can take to go beyond the fear of healing, the fear of change, the fear of forgiveness, the fear of acceptance? Every person is on their own path, and I think part of our karmic path may be, how long are we going to carry our suffering? How long are we going to continue making the mistakes of self-sabotage and self-destruction? How long are we going to continue sharing hurt into the world? Well, we got lifetimes. As far as I know, they may be unlimited, or it may be just this one. We can be miserable all our life, or, and here's where, fucking toughen up. And the best way to toughen up is to surrender. Surrender from fighting. Then you have the ability and the awareness and the time to change your intentions, so that we're not just constantly battling to keep ourselves protected from getting triggered. I can't hear that. I can't be around them. I can't see this. I can't, whatever. When we are able to use our will, the will of God is within us. When we align our will and our heart for the purposes of anything, healing, I think God lets it go, man. And Nude Guru, you know the answers, man. Thank you. Let go of that fear and relax. Be objective. Enjoy the ride. Make it all a learning focus, not an acquisition focus, not a victory focus, not a results focus, a learning focus. That's what I've been doing, and I tell you what, it feels good to learn. Consider this, particularly all of us who have enjoyed many hours on these platforms. How much are we growing when we are repeating many of the same arguments, many of the same ideas over and over? We're not learning. We're entertaining ourselves. And actually, speaking of, we're over 2 hours already. I hope this has been entertaining, but I'm feeling like maybe we should wrap
Well,
it
I
up.
appreciate it as always, Jack. Thank you. It was nice meeting you, BeeBee.
It was lovely, Cynthia. Thank you, Jack. You
Bye.
too did.
Cynthia, thank you, my friend. BeeBee, thank you, my friend. You are always welcome back again. Dick, any parting words?
BeeBee, that's I think my first time sharing the screen with her. She's recent to the community. I think nice to meet you. And Cynthia, very pleasant, wonderful woman. Cynthia, beautiful being of light. Appreciate all your perspectives. And Jack Talcott. When are we going to get on the? You called them. I had never heard of cotlets. Actually, I hadn't had those. Maybe that's an East Coast thing. But the towel cakes. I'm hoping you're working on the recipes, or you got someone in the background kind of orchestrating all that, because that's just a big piece of the puzzle for me anyway.
Dude, the product line is developing and emerging. I don't know exactly how or when, but we'll get something out there soon.
All right. I'll be a
Hey,
customer.
Dick, thank you, brother. I
Thanks, Jack.
do honor and appreciate you, my friend. Oops. And BeeBee, did you have anything else? I brought you up. I'll throw you back otherwise.
No, I'm good.
All right. Bless you, my friend. And for a few moments, and because the fans and the chat has offered so much
Talcott,
support.
I feel assaulted right now in your backstage. I don't know if it's sexually yet. I'm still trying to determine, but I feel fucking my space, and I feel like I just feel abused, and I feel fucking like you're assaulting me. Like I don't know. You're fucking, and I'm still determined if it's sexual assault. Why are you doing this? Why are you hurting my feelings and assaulting me in Talcadia? I feel abused. I feel used. I feel hurt. I want to weaponize, but I'm afraid of the repercussions online. I don't know how to turn the off button off. I don't know how to just, live a healthy life and not get triggered like a weaponized hoe. But I feel at this point, I feel it's sexually assault in Talcott and backstage. Why are you doing that? Why are you hurting me like this, Talcott? Why are you assaulting me?
If you were to take a guess based on what you've heard me say and what I've been doing, what would you guess? Why am I trying?
You know what? Assault is bad, period. You don't get away with assaulting someone like this, Talcott. So don't make excuses. You are assaulting me. You can't make excuses for assault. That don't matter if we're online or not. You are sexually assaulting me too in the backstage of Talcadia. Which I might like, but fact is, you're still sexually assaulting me, and you can't make excuses for your actions.
All right, I'll take your words under consideration. Anything else tonight?
The optics are high.
God bless you, brother. The optics are high. Brothers and sisters, holy cows. Is this real? Is this real? Oh my goodness. No. Praise be. Heavens, this life we are living. I've considered this words. I've heard it elsewhere, but what if we are created for God's delight and joy? What if it is through God's passion of creation that we were formed? We were brought here because it brings our Creator delight and joy, for the purpose of offering us this world, this life that we get to share together. What an adventure, man. What an absolute adventure. And you know what? To all those who joined the panel, all those who participated in the chat, all those who stayed a safe distance away and just clicked to tune in, God bless you. And thank you. Thank you to all of you. Wellness Wednesday, the reminder from the thumbnail. Your life is as good as your mindset. What can you do to improve your own mindset? What does that mean for you? What can you do to expand your mindset, to develop, to, I don't know, find your words, to grow the greatest part of you, because it is inside of you waiting to come forth. I know this. I know this about us all. Blessings, and sincerely, thank you again to all who joined in. Please do the subscribe thing, hit the notification, and if you would, toss a like on your way out, and join again in the future. By God's grace. Till next time, peace for everyone. Choose love and live without fear. Thank you again, and God bless you.